Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and I think it's about time we got our finished supermarket build off the Lego desk and into the Lego city, where I think it'll look absolutely fantastic. Well, before we take this up to the Lego room, I do need to show you the final set of amendments as suggested by you, which will be rewarded with a bedoing. And this isn't one of them. This is just Robin trying out his new kind of flying green goblin, whatever they're called, type thing that I built from bricks from a recent brick haul. And there are the lovely chrome arrow pieces that I was sent as well. So thanks again for those. Yeah, but it's really good fun, isn't it? Love that little build. Anyway, I'll put that to one side. Yes, the amendments from the final set of comments included this little wonderful scene here, where we've got one of the vets in the practice from upstairs, basically stealing an apple by way of a fishing rod. And I just thought that was a really comical scene. It'd be really good fun. And he seems to be very happy that he's managed to hook one from the outside display of apples down here. So I really like that. And it's a good bit of motion as well. So yeah, that's really good. So thanks very much for that one. Oh. Yes, so as you may have guessed, the batteries of my Bedoing buzzer ran out, so here you go, here is your Bedoing. Wow, very loud on new batteries. So there's a few more amendments on the front. One was just to change the tile kind of in here at the top of the roof. You can just see to a 2x2 round one, so it didn't jut out just slightly on the corner. And that is a very tiny but very significant improvement as well, so thanks for that. A lot of people suggested the dog that was just sort of in a normal position over here, tied up outside, should be basically attacking the newly spilled milk because, well, he would, wouldn't he? And I thought that was a very appropriate idea. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of that one as well. So thanks for that. And then there's another one that was very common, which was to basically take the slot for the coins for the kiddie ride out the front off the floor by just raising it by a 1x1 round brick. So I've done that as well. And then this is one I really should have thought of because it includes involving another tread plate sticker, which I've put onto a red version of the original panel piece put in there. And that looks a lot better as well. So that's kind of the step that you go on before you climb into the ride. And wow, you know how I feel about tread plate stickers. That's a really good one. So thanks again for that. Brilliant. So there are the final set of amendments for this build, which means it is now ready and ripe to go into the Lego room. People have asked about the upper floors, which are currently still occupied by Dr. Jones's animal care sort of contents that the original build had in. And I will be adding to those interiors or swapping them out or doing all sorts of things, who knows, in the future. But not yet, because I want to break and I want to do something else more interesting first. So yeah, we will come back to those one day. So I'm just going to push this to one side briefly, because the other thing we're going to be adding to the Lego City today is another floor for the boutique hotel. Yes, my parts order, which was very boring, so I didn't think it was worth doing as part of a brick haul, came, and it was just all the parts for another middle floor of the boutique hotel. And it is almost complete, apart from a couple of minor parts like the cupboard doors here and the end of this bed and some pillows and so on that weren't actually available in bricks and pieces at that time. So I'll get those in due course and add them to this. So we'll be making that build a lot taller as well. And considering that that one may well be butting up against this one, kind of back to back, so they're hiding two of their boring walls against each other. I think having this one a bit taller, because this one has got 5 stories after all, and the boutique hotel's only got 3, so now it'll have 4. I think that'll be a lot better. So yeah, so that's not very exciting perhaps, but I think it will look a lot better proportioned when that's in. And then finally, I also got the parts for improving the roof. Now this is just the original roof from the boutique hotel, except I've added another line of these kind of details, these railings along that fourth side. I never understood why it came with them along that side, there, but not here. I just, what? Why? You aren't saving that many pieces. Anyway, I've just copied the build and just done it around that last side. And you know what? I was right. I'm not always right, but in this case, I definitely was. That looks a lot more complete and a lot better in my mind. So there we go. Right, so improvements, another floor for the boutique hotel, and the bad boy to get upstairs and put into Brick Nottingham. All right, into the Lego room, and I've already put back on the roof of the boutique hotel with its extra railings, and you kind of just see that difference, but I like it. But now to add on the additional floor, which I think will make all the difference to its proportions. And wow, that does look a lot better, doesn't it? Wow. I mean, it's such a simple change, but adding one more middle floor just gives that band of that flesh colour a lot more prominence and kind of makes the roof with its green, sand green sort of colour much more lofty and higher up. And I really think that works actually. And also it increases the number of rooms on the inside from 3 up to the lofty level of 5. So yeah, I think that is definitely a good improvement, though not an easy one to do through bricks and pieces. Though I have heard, and you'll have to tell me if this is reality, if you did this, you can actually call Lego customer services and ask for entire bags of Lego, i.e. from the sort of original instructions, to be put in a package for you, and then pay the price, whatever that costs for those, which is a lot easier than the way I did it, which was essentially going through the instructions and seeing what pieces you needed and putting them in the basket that way. But yeah, it looks really nice. I quite like the two balconies, kind of one above the other as well. And the height is much more in keeping with the surroundings of the other buildings, though that may well change when we start moving these things around. Yeah, I do quite like it with that round turret on the corner. And another thing you'll be interested in is that the stairs and every other aspect on the inside does marry up absolutely perfectly when you add an additional one of those floors. So that is a really nice thing as well, if you're into all of that detail. Now, placing this supermarket. Originally, my plan was to put the supermarket exactly where this building is, or even maybe one further back, leaving an open lot on the corner. And that is why I designed my supermarket with the doors on the side that would be on the road and the sort of vegetables on this side, so it'd be very prominent. And now we've got the real first world problem of having too many lovely modulars to place and squeeze into a city. It is an extra big problem because I don't think this one is going to work well turned 90 degrees. It might do. That's one of the things we'll have to try. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is leave this where it is for option 1 and put the supermarket on the far side of it. Now, I don't think that's going to be my favourite because this brand new building that I've put all my effort into is going to be facing the wall of the corner of the room. So that can be option 1 though. Then I'll probably just swap those two around and have them both there but the other way around as option 2. And then I think we can think further about where else they could go in the room, maybe right over the other side of the city, or maybe even on that site that I've got the building site on with all the demolition going on, though that is earmarked in the long term for a design that I'm making at the moment. So if I bump these into that space, then, well, it just pushes the problem further down the road, really. Anyway, let's get on with putting our supermarket build behind there for option 1, which I think is going to be my least favourite. Yep. I think that's definitely going to be my least favourite. All we can see is the dark orange kind of wall at the top, with even the rogue bricks of tan sort of showing through, which are my least favourite aspects of the whole build. We can, if we look down the street, see a bit of the scenes and a bit of that vegetable display and so on, and definitely the round sign right on the corner. But quite frankly, that is not enough to show off the wonderful build. And if we go round to the second standing hole, it gets even more ugly, I think. So, same thing, but second standing hole. And although the boutique hotel looks fine there, facing that direction, even better, in fact, with its extra floor, we really can't appreciate this. And we can kind of lean round and see the entrance on this side, but that's kind of the wrong side for it to be on. And then, well, I mean, the vegetable display is a bit of a lean. I don't like it at all. And again, we're presented with this great big monolith of dark orange bricks with these kind of anomaly ones that I may get rid of in due course. And I could put big advertising hoardings over them as well. But it just doesn't work. Even the back door's a bit sort of squeezed in. And that's because it wasn't designed to go in that orientation. It was designed to go in that orientation, kind of there. So that's what I'm going to try next. And in fact, it was also designed to actually be on the same spot it is, but turn 90 degrees, because that lot was supposed to be very low level, so we could see it very easily. And I've got plans for that low level site as well. So that's what I'm going to try. I'm going to put a blank base plate there. That turned 90 degrees to the right. And then this one, well, there, I suppose. Wow, well, that looks a lot better. I'm quite surprised, actually. I didn't think that would look as good as it does. Not for the supermarket, because, as I say, that was designed to go this way round. So I'm kind of expecting that one to look at its best from this angle. And you can see all of the outdoor scenes from the front, which is even made better by the fact that we've got this low level lot in front. And the helicopter's far enough away from the tall building not to sort of be threatened by it as well. But why I'm surprised is because the boutique hotel, arguably its best element, the sort of tower, is sticking out and kind of peeking out from around the corner of the end of it as well, making it look quite noticeable and quite, well, real lifey, to be honest. You know, with one building peeking out at a really interesting angle behind another. So yeah, we've got the normal sort of square buildings over here, all in a row. Then we've got one kind of on a diagonal, and then another one behind it, kind of on, well, a different diagonal with all sorts of different colours. I mean, it needed the extra height, that's for sure. But yeah, I think that looks really good, actually. I mean, it's never going to be perfect from this angle, just because whatever's happening, it's going to be roughly facing the wall on one side. But when your city's as full as mine, you can't necessarily have every building in an absolutely perfectly viewable position. But yeah, that does look good. We should check it out from the other side though and see how that looks as well. So from the first standing hole, it looks pretty good, kind of going behind the hospital and all that. The turret is really only visible when you're really leaning over the railway track. And then we start to see the bad side of both of these buildings, these great big tall blocks of colour, where they really haven't been designed with that back sort of side in mind. And you understand why, of course, but it really would be better if they were back to back. And that's partially because the boutique hotel is this really weird shape where it's kind of got windows on three sides and only one blank wall. So it'd be ideal if that one was covered up. Yeah, interesting. Right, second standing hole. Well, I'm very happy I can see the vegetables through this gap and the sign and the awning and even our new fishing rod. And this gap was also partially considered so I could see, you know, the other buildings on the other side of the street, which without having sort of a huge wall of brick blocking my, well, viewing lines effectively. But I've still got a great big lump of brick, haven't I, with the backs of these two buildings. Now, I do have some advertising hoardings. I've got a few of them over here, like the Stranger Things one, that one from the Daily Bugle, the shipping one, the Bill and Sully one, that I can put on the backs of very plain walls. But I'm not sure if it's going to be enough in this case, because we really do have quite a lot of ugly bricks on the back of that bit and that bit. Yeah, now, one option is to mirror the boutique hotel. Now, that's going to be absolutely agonizing to do, which is basically rebuilding it. But instead of having sort of the door on the left, the door would be on the right, and everything would be absolutely opposite. So it means taking everything completely apart and building it all again using the instructions, but finding it even harder the second time because you're doing the opposite of what it says every single time. But that would mean that we could basically have it tilted this way. So this back wall would be against this back wall, and then the door would be, where would it be? So if we mirrored it, it'd be there. It'd be on the same corner that it is now. It's really quite hard to imagine. But if we mirrored this, we would have that turret on that corner, on the sort of far side right. And then when we turned it 90 degrees, it would be on the corner that it's currently on. And then we'd have the gallery down here. And then we'd have, yeah, the long line along there. I'm still not sure it would work that well. It's a real problem because the boutique is such a funny shape. Yeah. So it was good from over there. It was all right from over there, but it's not so great from over here. But maybe I'm being a bit too much of a perfectionist because whatever we do, I don't think it's going to be that great from here, given we're going to have solid walls. So the other option that I mentioned earlier was to clear the construction site that is earmarked for a build that I'm currently designing and see if they both go on there. Though to be honest, they would have to go this way round. So it'd be picking them up kind of and then moving them there, so we could have the supermarket on this front corner, because I think it would have to be here, the supermarket, which means the turret for the boutique hotel would be there, the flat side would be down there, the art gallery here, which means we would still have that double ugly back wall along the back of our monorail line. So that would look great from this angle, I'm sure. In fact, it'd look absolutely amazing from this angle, and the hotel being next to the airport and near the other hotel, that would really work, wouldn't it? But I think the problem would be from over there, we'll just have all of this horrible back of building. But maybe I could do something with it. I could have plants climbing up it, like we've got the on this bit of blank wall on the hospital. What have we got? We've got 3D sign there for the crazy golf. We've got little advertising boards, things like that. So maybe we could disguise just how ugly it looks. So I think it's worth a go, because they are brilliant buildings and I do want to make the most of them. I'm just really worried about where my new build will go if we put them there. But yeah, I'll get moving all these diggers. Right, the construction site is all up, exposing a crack in the table with our subway system underneath. So that's very true to real life in a way. So it will fit there, but the colour of the base plate should actually be green there. So the small elements in the backyards and so on do actually marry with the train side. So if they do go here, I will probably swap them onto the green base plates and use the ones liberated for whatever goes over here. So, right, I'm going to have to be careful and lift these in pieces, I think, because there's a lot of obstacles around here. Yep, and I don't want to drop anything. Well, hey, that looks all right, doesn't it? Wow, it's very unusual for us to see this area so high rise, given it's been so low rise for so long. But wow, it really does work, at least from this perspective. We've got arguably the best angle for the supermarket build, both for the higher floors and definitely for all of the lower floors and all of those wonderful scenes, in that we've got the sort of dead-on diagonal. And it really does go well with the fact that my full MOC modular, the fast food corner, is just over there as well. So it really is a very nice and original street. So yeah, I do like that scene. And then we've got the same sort of positive sort of peeking out bit that we saw before of that other diagonal of the boutique hotel kind of emerging at that different angle from behind the other one with the turret on main view. And then we've got the entrance to that hotel right diagonally opposite the airport, which does work. I mean, even our old lady with the wheelie case is going straight from one to the other, so that works really well. And the sort of low-rise art gallery in between, well, that just works as well. So yeah, I do like that. We've got a little sort of peaky kind of alley between the two, which I quite like as well. Not that we can see a whole lot through it. It does somewhat block our view of this tram stop, but we've got other tram stops. It does somewhat block the view of the rail construction site, but I've done that all over my city, blocking views, and it just means that when you find it from a different viewing perspective, it's all the more interesting. I did like the view of Apollo Arcade from behind, which now we only have at that high level. Here, well, yeah, you can kind of peer through there, I suppose. At least with the camera you can. I don't know if I can lean that far. But yeah, that does look good on film at least. So yeah, this is all the pretty side of these buildings though, of course. So we do have to see the more ugly side that I could add advertising hoardings to. But yeah, that does look pretty good actually. And hides to a large degree the sort of back end of these buildings, which weren't the best look. But another thing to consider actually is the tram line itself, Are they a bit too close? Golly, they look close, don't they? We're going to have to do a trial run with the tram and prepare for a crash, I think. Yeah, they might be even too close to even attempt a trial. But let's go around the other side and look at what is going on the back sides of these buildings. Well, from here, it looks fantastic with the planes soaring over the tops of these buildings. But, as suspected, those big blank walls do not do us any favours. They're pretty ugly, you must agree. So if you kind of look around all the rest of the city and then get to that, it is a bit of an eyesore, I think you'll agree. Now, as I say, there are things we can do with those to sort of dull it down a little bit. But generally speaking, where I have got buildings with their backs deliberately showing, like this one here, I've tried to pick the ones with the prettiest rear ends, so to speak, just so the problem is a little bit less. But these, well, especially the boutique hotel, I mean, that is possibly the ugliest back of building of any modular ever done. I don't know if anyone can beat that. So yeah, that is quite a bit of work. Now I could do an incredibly large and creative awning, perhaps for some sort of advertising. You do get some very famous advertisements in New York, Times Square sort of thing, or even Las Vegas or something like that, where something could be really covering an entire sort of huge wall like that. And maybe have it so that when you do pull off the different levels of the modular, different sections go with it. So it would actually be split, kind of like the climbing wall is inside my outdoor adventure shop as part of Fast Food Corner. So I do, as I say, think there's things we can do, and it might be that I can even change some of the bricks on the inside of these builds to get rid of those random 1x1 white bricks, for example, that are showing on their ends there, because better it affects the insides than the out. Yeah, so I'm going to appreciate your guys' views again, what you think is the best location. I mean, it's a real compromise between having them over here and being able to really not really enjoy them to their full potential, or having them over here and them looking fantastic from the second standing hole, but needing a bit more work, at least from this angle. I'm kind of leaning towards leaving them where they are, even though that means my current design for a double modular is going to need some really serious rework to go somewhere else, like over there, because there aren't many places that even have two modulars sort of spaced next to each other. Then there's one more check, isn't there, which is the tram. Can that get round on the monorail? And I've done it without batteries because, well, you can probably guess what the answer is. It's no. It hits on the corner. Now, when it straightens out, it's actually fine. So it's kind of fine for all of this section. It's just that when it's going around the corner, that front right corner kind of juts out a bit and clips that corner. So that's easily fixed, actually. I'll just have to move everything on my supermarket one stud that way, which means I'll just have to lift up everything on the ground floor and kind of move it along a little bit. And there's plenty of sort of curb side extra on there anyway, so I could even do it 2 and make it a little more distant. So that isn't so much of a problem, but yeah, it is a big blank wall. Give me your thoughts, please. So a bit of a funny video this time, in that it's been 2 steps forward, 1 step back, given that these look absolutely fantastic in their location from this perspective, but it has created a lot more design work in redesigning the building that was in progress to go in this very spot. And also I'm going to have to swap these 2 onto green base plates as a perfectionist. And I'm also going to have to move this one stud forward, but that won't be too bad actually, because if I'm swapping the colour of the base plate already, it's pretty much the same job. And actually you can see how close that collision is with the tram, only part of 1 brick width, so moving it 1 stud will just make it perilously close, which is how I like to have all of my moving vehicles, very nearly hitting things but not quite, so it looks very scary. But yeah, that view is just fantastic. So you'll have to let me know whether you agree with the current placement, if you think there is a way that I could easily fix having them over here. Although having said that, they were very tall here as well, so maybe something sort of about this level would kind of be better for that site. So maybe it's all for the good. But as always, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome LEGO videos. And if you value this channel, there are many ways in which you can support it. Do check out the links in the description below. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, it will be Wednesday, so we'll be doing another brick haul. And then on Friday, we'll be doing, well, another part of the cargo area, no doubt, which is over here. Looking very plain at the moment, but a lot more tidy than it did before. And you can see the top of that fortlet from the behind perspective. So yeah, that's looking good. So it'll probably be Coast Guard station on there. So yeah, until all of that, see you